Hey, what's up, all you bi guys and girls out there and supporters of the bi community? I'm back this week with another episode, and I left the gym the other day after talking to a number of guys. We had a really great discussion, and what I've come to realize is that there is a conspiracy amongst straight men to, it's almost like a code or a playbook that straight men operate by. I don't know if anybody has ever made a video or talked about it, but I'll give you my perspective, very briefly. For anyone who doesn't know what a conspiracy is, it's pretty much an agreement between two or more people to complete an objective. In the law, they call it, an unlawful objective, but pretty much surmising that it's one of those situations where I really have spent much of my life trying to figure out this playbook that straight men operate by. I felt like at one point in my life that maybe I didn't get the rules, or maybe I didn't get the code or the playbook to be able to operate, because I was confused at one point. Being bisexual, there isn't much room out there, especially at one point back in long time ago, right, in the 2000 eras. And so, but first, before I dig deeper into the conspiracy of straight men, I really want to point out that there are a lot of straight men out there who are awesome. And I mean, on average, I'm not trying to categorize anyone, but I know that all throughout high school and undergrad and grad school and law school, I met individuals who, were my friend and still are my friend in many of the cases, who were straight. And they literally went against the conspiracy of straight men by befriending a guy that but I didn't fit the mold of what you would expect when it came to a black man. So I really want to have a special shout out to all those guys out there that have friends with someone from the LGBTQ community. Maybe it's a gay guy, maybe it's a bi guy or bi girl or a trans individual. Thank you, because you literally go against the playbook that that men operate by on average. But with that being said, I feel like the conspiracy is very much focused on this culture that here in America can at times be very toxic. It's this culture where even right now, case in point, WAP, right? Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B have that song WAP, and they're talking all about, what WAP stands for. And, they did their thing, hands down, right? But I've met individuals, even now, and I talk to guys who are like, I don't want to hear that. And I'm like, okay, well, why not? You're a straight man, right? I would assume that if I was a straight man, I would be down for it. I'm bisexual, so I'm still down, but if I only like women, I could clearly see how, this is what I like and that's what I'm doing, right? I like WAPs, whatever, right? But at the same time, it's very interesting because we all know that these same individuals that are complaining against WAP will sit there and listen to a rap song talking about, it ain't no fun if the homies can't get none, or I let this girl suck my my woodpecker or whatever, and all these homoerotic gestures that men will, pat each other on the back for, or even the butt in many cases, and talk about, and have no issue at all about some guy rapping about his his wood, but they have issue with women, as far as talking about, their bodies. So going back to that conspiracy, I really feel like there's some rules or playbook that straight men operate by, and at times it can be very toxic. With any culture, there's always something in there that you can complain about, but I have never come across anything where anyone has said, yo, here's the playbook on how straight men operate, or here's what you do, or here's what you don't do. With that being said, of not doing something, I also realize that there are a lot of men who won't be friends with the LGBTQ community because they are afraid, or maybe they just don't like it. There's all sorts of reasons why, but on average, if you're a straight person and you have a gay friend, and those individuals who are friends with someone from the LGBTQ community are going against the grain. They're going against the conspiracy. And, from what I've seen and heard, they usually seem to be okay. But even in the gym, if I'm doing my thing, I'm in the gym, you catch me in the gym, you're going to catch me dancing, turning up, having a great time. And I've talked to individuals, some come up to me and some work there, some are just working out. And, they'll tell me such and such asked me about why I talk to you. And it's not anything I've ever heard before. I've heard it all through, school about people saying, you talk to that guy? As if people are my friend. They're like, yeah, that's my friend. He's actually a pretty nice guy. Just talk to him. But they will get questioned for being friends with someone like me, a bi man, And I think it's very interesting. And it's almost like they expect, women have asked them that as well. Because I've talked to a lot of guys, they say, yeah, a girl asked me, like, why do you talk to him? He's like, he's pretty cool, you know? And they go about their business, but it's like they expect, people who ask that question expect that man to side with them, to be like, yeah, I don't really mess with him, you know, or, you know, I'm just pretending to be nice. It's crazy what the conspiracy is here in America against the LGBTQ community, as well as, especially by men. Case in point, you know, like I said, I never really fit the mold of what you would expect when it comes to a black man here in America. I don't really care, whatever that is, like, right? But I will say that, like, I was in the gym the other day, and, like, a couple people came up to me, and the third guy that came up to me, it was, like, the evening in the suburbs. I was like, you know, I'm gonna work out here, nobody's gonna run into me, I'm gonna do my thing, And he comes over to me, he's like, yo, man, I've been watching you for a while. Is all this equipment over here, you know, free? And I'm like, yeah, bro, do your thing. Now, he's a jack guy. Like I said, muscles are not my thing. As far as, like, my body formula, I could care less, like, whatever. So he starts talking to me, and I'm like, okay, you said you've been watching me, and I actually had on one of my shirts from my sportswear collection called By Authority Sportswear. And it was, a, you know, a stringer tee, and it had BiGuy right across, and the BI was underlined, huge across my chest. And I'm like, okay, so you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a bi guy, you know, you want to talk to me, which is cool, whatever. But then, like, we started our conversation talking about stuff, and he was like, oh, I didn't read your shirt. And I'm like, okay, maybe you just one of them dumb people who just really don't, I don't see how. But anyway, you know, and so as we start talking, he's like, yeah, all my roommates have been gay, and I got a gay roommate here and there. And I'm like, okay, you got gay roommates, you told me about, you know, I'm getting the vibe like this guy is probably on the B team on some spectrum, but he's pretending like he has no idea anything about it. And in my head, I'm like, I know what you are. You're one of those men who are straight, right? Or you live the straight lifestyle, but you flirt with gay men or bi men. And I talk about that because even in a conspiracy among straight men, there's also this subculture of straight men that literally will flirt with gay men. They will literally flirt with, you know, and they don't want anyone to know. And I'm not the one. I'm the American bi guy, for God's sakes. Like I said before, like, I'm not the one. And what I should have done was I really should have pointed, you know, like, you know what, bro? You know what? You're striking me like you're on the B team. God bless you. Good luck with life. But he just kept wanting to engage with me. And I was like, dude, I'm just trying to get this exercise in. But what I really gathered was that this individual is, you know, getting by flirting with men who are gay or bisexual, and then going back to his life because he pretended like he was so dumb. And I'm like, there's no way you could roommate with gay men and not learn a thing or two. And then he told me about his experience about, you know, working out, and how he was like, yeah, you're kind of right, man, because when I was really on my game, you know, my body was ripped. Every guy that, like, it was always a lot of guys that would come up to me, you know, and talk to me or tell me, man, you're huge. Well, he was like, always some girl's boyfriend or some woman's husband. And he was like, it's crazy because I didn't get any numbers during that time, but I was getting all these men. And I'm like, you know, like I said before, bi for some reason is a subculture, but you've indicated to me that you clearly have some knowledge about the bi community or about the gay community, but you're gonna sit here and come over to me and pretend that you didn't see bi guy right across my shirt. I mean, like, huge lettering. Going back to my point, there is a conspiracy there. The average straight man probably wouldn't approach someone like me, which is totally fine. Different strokes for different folks. I don't really care, you know. However, there is a sub group within that community who are awesome, and they befriend anyone regardless of their sexuality. And then there's another subgroup of individuals who pretend that they don't know what they're doing, but they will purposely make advances to gay men. A lot of times I think it's just the ego boost, you know, if they're good enough for whatever sick reason they may have it. But I do feel like there is a conspiracy, and that conspiracy will change. Let me point that out. Whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're Hispanic, and so forth. I'll talk about being a black man really briefly. If you're a black man, you don't wear tight pants. There's some, I mean, you can maybe get away with maybe wearing some kind of like fitted clothes, but there is a conspiracy. Black men on average, we usually got hips, butts. Like, we usually have, you know, we're usually built. And so certain clothes on us don't fit. 2, they look kind of weird because we're like, yeah. And then 3, even as our culture, if your pants are too tight or you start wearing too tight of a clothes, people start looking at you like, okay, something suspicious, right? And it's really sad because, I mean, I feel like people should be and wear what they want to wear. But, you know, and if you're a white guy, you know, you can say, yeah, I love you, man, you know, and this and that. You can express your affection on each other. Oftentimes, you know, it's not challenged. Hispanic men, they can put on tight pants, right? They can get dressed up and their wife's like, look at my husband, he's hot, you know, he's wearing these tight pants, he's doing his thing. It's very interesting what this conspiracy looks like, and then on average how it breaks down between white, black, Hispanic, because I won't speak too much about Asia because I don't know too much about how it fits there, but it's just very interesting to me that there is an agreement amongst straight men to operate with a certain code book.